Barakallahu fikum. So now we're getting back to the text of Ibn Asakir. Let's catch up to where we got to. So we started by saying, may Allah have mercy on him. I'lam arshadana Allahu wa iyyak. No, that's a command. May Allah guide us and you. That's a supplication. أنه that يجب على كل مكلف أن يعلم أن الله عز وجل واحد في ملكه. Obligatory upon every accountable one is knowing that Allah, invincible and great, is unique in His dominion. Yani one, He has no partner. خلق العالم بأسره. He created the world in its entirety, or the universe if you want. That includes paradise and hell. Everything in existence, everything that came into existence. You don't say about Allah came into existence. You say about Allah only He existed eternally. Everything else came into existence. Then it's going to be part of the world or universe. Al-ulwiyya was-sufli wal-arsha wal-kursi. The upper and the lower worlds. The upper world and the lower world. The skies and paradise and what's above that, and the earth and what's below that, including hell. Wal-arsha wal-kursi. And the arsh, which is the ceiling or the canopy of paradise, which is the largest thing that Allah created, and the kursi, which is a huge creation in the upper world. It's confirmed in the Quran by name, Al-Kursi. Kursi in a literal sense means chair, but doesn't mean that this object is a chair. Also, Arsh in a literal sense means throne. So a lot of people use these English words. They say Allah's throne. What this object is, though, is it's like a canopy over paradise, like how the sky is a canopy over the earth. The Kursi is smaller than it. Everything is smaller than that. وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and heavens and earth. That's part of the world that Allah created. Heavens and earth is only part of the world that Allah created. 7 heavens, heavens means skies here, and 7 earths. That's heavens and earth. Beyond heavens is paradise, yani over. Over the 7th sky is paradise. Below the 7th earth is hell. Those are outside of heavens and earth. وَمَا فِيهِمَا وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and what is in them, in heavens and earth. Or between them, between heavens and earth, like the sun and the moon and the stars. So we talked about what that means to say those are between heavens and earth, between the sky and the earth. جميع الخلائق مقهورون بقدرته. All the many creations are subjugated by His power. Yes. Subjugated, dominated. لا تتحرك ذرة إلا بإذنه. Not a speck moves but by His permission. So not even the dust that's floating by the window. This moves by the power of Allah only. Yani, it would not move had Allah not made it move. ليس معه مدبر في الخلق. مدبر. He does not have an assistant manager for the creation. وَلَا شَرِيكٌ فِي الْمُلْكِ, nor a partner in the dominion. Hmm. Was an assistant manager like the belief of the Greeks? They believed in Zeus and many gods. And one of them is the god of the gods in their religion. And other ones were having their own dominion. And they were fighting each other. That's all impossible. This, yani, is the origin of comic books, as if. Hayyun Qayyum, alive, and Qayyum, Hay, alive, has life without body or soul. Qayyum, that's a description exclusive to Allah. We talked about it. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Then, here, the author, he plucked, if you want, a statement from the Quran and deposited its wording here in the text. The meaning of this is drowsiness does not overtake him, nor sleep. We talked about that. And then he put some other verses of the Quran, or statements from the Quran, that pertain to the creed in particular. As you will see here, Alimul Ghaybi wa Shahada, knower of the unseen and of the evident. The unseen, like the angels, the jinn, the enjoyment of the grave, the torture of the grave, etc. Did you know that the jinn have animals too? Uh, and knower of what is evident. Evident is like the world as it appears to us. لا يخفى عليه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. Nothing on earth is hidden from him, nor in the sky. The, by animals, the jinn having animals, yani. Well, the jinn is not an animal. He is a type of creature, has a mind. Created in the way he's created, so that his body is subtler than ours. So there's animals also Allah created like this. I don't have any details. Nothing on earth is hidden from him, nor in the sky. Hidden? لا يخفى عليه. It's not hidden from him, meaning he knows about it. And also he sees it. And also he hears it. His seeing it doesn't matter which direction it's in, because he is not in a direction. He sees it without eyes. He hears it without ears. He knows about it without a body, without a heart, without a beginning. يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. He knows what is on land and at sea. So earth and sky and land and sea. Uh, Interesting. Now I'm reviewing this with you. I noticed something I didn't notice before. MashaAllah. So you see how he started talking about the world, that Allah created the universe, the upper part, the lower part, the Arsh and the Kursi, heavens and earth, what is in them and what is between them. Okay. He told us here by using verses of the Quran, though, that he knows. You see how those were layered, how he layered that information. Allah knows the unseen and he knows what is evident. Nothing is hidden from him in the earth, nor in the sky, nor on land, nor at sea. وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُهَا. Not a leaf falls, but that he knows it. Yes. ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يابس إلا في كتاب مبين. Nor is there a seed within the darknesses of the earth, nor a thing moist, nor a thing dry, but that it is in a clear record. في ظلمات الأرض. Let me draw your attention to the darknesses. What's the darkness? The darkness is a substance that Allah created. It's not merely the lack of light. When we say substance means made of atoms, the light is made of atoms and the darkness is made of atoms also. Allah made the norm of this world that when the light vanishes, the darkness appears. So this was correct that darkness is something. Darkness is something. That's what I'm saying to you. Not saying darkness is nothing. It is something actually. So there is not a thing moist nor a thing dry, but that it is in a clear record. What's that clear record? Who can remind us? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not the record that the angels record. The clear record here is the guarded tablet. The guarded tablet, yes. What's the guarded tablet? It is the fourth creation. What's the first creation? Water. What's the second creation? The Arsh. And the Arsh was over the water. What's the third creation? The pen. What's the fourth creation? The guarded tablet. Then Allah made the pen write on the tablet. And the pen wrote on the tablet the destinies of everything that happens until Judgment Day. The destinies of the creations until the end of the world. Not beyond the end of the world. What's beyond the end of the world? Judgment Day is beyond the end of the world. How's the end of the world? When the angel blows his horn the first time. When he blows his horn the first time, it will make heavens and earth shatter into pieces. Then Allah, after time, 40 years, will bring the earth back together and resurrect the angel. And then he will blow his horn a second time. That's when the people come out of their graves. So this clear record, Al-Lawhul Mahfuz, the guarded tablet, it has written in it the destinies of the creations until the end of the world. It's referred to here as a kitab because of what it contains. Who encounters that tablet? The angels. What do they do there? They use that tablet to go about their tasks. From there, Gabriel got the books of Revelation that he brought down to the prophets. And I mentioned for you last time, there's even possibilities written in there. Meaning, if he does like this will happen. If he does like that, this will happen. And what's definitely going to happen is written in there. It's not right to say that what's written in this tablet is the speech of Allah. That's a mistake. أحاط بكل شيء علما. He encompassed everything in knowledge. Ahata, encompassed, meaning nothing escapes his knowledge. وأحصى كل شيء عددا. And he يعني he encompasses everything in count. What comes to me is to say he caught everything in count, meaning he knows the count of everything. On one level, yeah, that's simple. Allah knows the count of everything. God knows everything. And when you look at some particular cases, then it's very astonishing. Like I mentioned for you too. Like to say he knows the number of atoms, all the atoms. The atom is so small. So the atoms that make up you and me and everything around us. And the other one was he knows the count of the breaths of the people of paradise and hell. The people of paradise and hell, they inhale and exhale into the unending future. Allah knows the exact number. He knows every single one of those breaths, although it doesn't come to an end. There's not one of them that he doesn't know. So that means he knows every single one of them, though it doesn't come to an end. So this also, your mind doesn't go much further than this, in this concept here. Some scholars said the name Allah, this is not a strong saying, they said the name Allah is taken from waliha, waliha, wow, lam, ha. Waliha means to be confused. What? How is that? Because what they're saying is when one thinks about God, his mind will become disabled. He knows every single breath of the people of paradise and hell, though those breaths don't come to an end. There's not one more breath that there could be. SubhanAllah. Still reviewing, we covered all of this. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ, doer of whatever he wills. Okay, doer here means one who's attributed with power. Lima yurid, of whatever he wills. His will means his making something one way or another. One color or another color, one shape or another shape, one time or another time, male or female, or tree or rock or human or frog. قادر على ما يشاء, powerful over whatever he wills. So it's like he said the same statement twice. فعال لما يريد قادر على ما يشاء. Because, mashallah, yurid, he wills, means yasha, exactly, he wills. According to the Ash'aris, this is the meaning of this statement. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيد, it means قَادِرٌ عَلَى مَا يَشَاء. That's very interesting. Also, I didn't see that before. Okay. لَهُ الْمُلْكُ وَلَهُ الْغِنَى, ownership is his. So it's clear for you, he has an attribute of ownership. He owns everything, every creation. We don't own anything in reality because he owns it in reality. But our ownership is really a permission. That's why you can't do anything you want to do. You can't own anything you want to own. وَلَهُ الْغِنَى, and the needlessness is his, the independence. Meaning it's his attribute. He has that attribute. وَلَهُ الْعِزُّ وَالْبَقَاءُ, and nobility and everlastingness are his. The nobility, which is the perfection. Amongst the attributes of Allah is the attribute of perfection. It has many names. Some of his attributes have more than one name. Al-Izz is perfection. Al-Kamal, perfection. Al-Rifa'ah, the highness. Al-Ulu, the highness. All of those refer to the same attribute. Al-Azamah, the greatness. That all refers to his attribute of perfection. Wal-Baqa, and everlastingness. His existence does not come to an end. وَلَهُ الْحُكْمُ وَالْقَضَاءُ, and ruling and creating are his. So the ruling for Allah Ta'ala is that he makes whatever he wills lawful or unlawful, or obligatory or not obligatory. The humans do not have the right to make laws and then to impose those on others also. Even the prophets, they are not imposing a law from themselves. They are law bringers. They get revelation. What proves that they are prophets sent by God? They perform miracles. Their performance of miracles proves that they are sent by God because the miracle is supernatural. So he basically says, my proof is that I will perform a supernatural feat. And if you cannot discredit my supernatural feat, then I have established my evidence against you. And then it's binding on you to follow me, because that's what I was sent with, that you have to follow me. That's what that prophet would be conveying. So then he does his miracle, and then no one can discredit his miracle. That's for any prophet. Then whoever doesn't believe in the prophet after that will be because stubborn. So some people would believe and some people won't. The point here is that where the rules come from, those are revealed. But then you need to understand also a certain process that happens after the revelation. So what's revealed? What's revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Quran. This text was obligatory on him to convey it exactly as it was revealed to him. He must not change a single letter. And he did so, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also revealed to him was what we call sunnah. This means the prophetic way. So this is the practice of what was revealed in the Quran. And the documentation of the Prophet's sunnah is legal, religiously legal evidence. So the Quran is legal evidence, religiously legal evidence. The documentation of the sunnah, so in the first place, sunnah needs to be verified. So these are the words I'm going to say to you. This is correct. The authentic sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is religiously legal evidence. Okay. Who will interpret this? That requires qualification. Who will determine who is qualified? Very good question. The Muslims have a chain from the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And no one has a chain like this but the Muslims. What's this chain? I'll draw a picture for you. I'm not talking about the hadiths right now. We know the hadiths are narrated by chain, but I mean something else here. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught his companions. Yes. Amongst them, there became scholars. That's for sure. And some of them were fiqh scholars, scholars in fiqh, yani rulings. Some of them were interpretation scholars, interpreting the Quran. Some of them were hadith scholars. They knew so many hadiths of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Like the scholars. This was the case of the Sahaba. This is what you need to understand. Their case was that they had scholars amongst them of varying levels. But many of them were scholars because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was their direct teacher. And they were, as a result, also extremely powerful scholars. Yani, they are, in general, the most powerful scholars, the companions. But not absolutely. There could be someone who's not a companion who's more powerful scholar than a companion. These companions, some of them became mujtahids. That means they were, since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reaching a level and then giving judgments from verses of the Quran and hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that would be permissible for any Muslim who did not reach their level to rely upon. Means, in other words, they basically became like judges. Mujtahid's like a judge. Judge gives a verdict based on evidence. So the meaning of what I'm saying to you is that the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught his companions how to make ijtihad. This means he taught them about madhabs in the first place. So there has always been, since the time of the companions, the knowledge of ijtihad and having different sayings amongst the qualified scholars. But at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was an important difference, which was that the Prophet was alive, alayhi salatu wasalam, and if they can verify an answer from him, then their whatever ruling they have or come to, yani, they're not even going to make a ruling or an ijtihad if they can just ask him what the answer is, for example. Take the answer from him. But they still were mujtahids, even with the Prophet there. They could know something. Yani, you're a mujtahid, you're going to apply your knowledge. One hadith, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked one of the companions what should be done with some prisoners of war, he said, I see that such and such and such and such should be done with them. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam agreed with his what he saw. And then the followers of the companions, they took that from the companions. And the followers of the followers took that from them, amongst whom is Malik, amongst whom is Abu Hanifa. The Hanafi school, before it, in some areas, there was the madhab of Al-Hasan al-Bisri. Al-Hasan al-Bisri, he was a follower of the companions. Hanafi school overtook what was there before. So this system here that I really didn't talk a lot about its intricacies, it was in place since the time of the companions. This is the chain I'm talking about. While the Prophet was alive, alayhi salatu wasalam, then the students of the companions, they did like them. They had madhabs, they had mujtahids amongst them. And then their followers did like them. Okay. So a judge giving his ruling, this is valid. If he's valid judge, then that's valid. Uh, that's not people making laws, because this is a deduction based on an evidence. Yani, there would be an ayah from the Quran, and then something would occur, or there would be a hadith of the Prophet. Something would happen, some incident would happen. So there would be a need for an answer. What's the answer for this issue? So the qualified one will say the answer for it is such and such, because of this hadith here. He will give us evidence. So when he's qualified, this is valid. That's not that's not making laws. Ruling is for Allah. He is the one who reveals the rules, and the Prophet will convey the rules, and the scholars will explain the rules, and the layman will implement the rules. Yani, everyone has to implement, but the layman doesn't have more than this. Lahul hukum, the ruling is for Allah Ta'ala. Wal qada, and the creating is His. This means making an event linked to His power. Making an event related to His power, that is. If you don't like the word linked. Making an event related to His power. That's the meaning here, for the way this author talks. That's the creating. وَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى, and His are the best names. That's as far as we got, and we explained the names. Yani, we did some explanation. Should we read at least a sentence or two? لا دافع لما قضى, there is no repeller of what He ordained. ولا مانع لما أعطى, and no preventer of what He granted. Yani, if Allah willed for something to happen, if He created something, if some event or incident is to exist, then there is nothing that will stop it from coming into existence. And if something is not to happen, then nothing can make it happen. Nothing you can do will make it happen. That's why some of the wise ones said, oh, how close is something that was meant to be, and oh, how far is something that was never meant to be. MashaAllah.